Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Serly and today I want to explain some basic but important concept in statistic that we need to understand before doing tasks like independent test or dependent test. So I will talk about normality and homogeneity test and when we should use them, how to read the p-value and how they relate to hypothesis testing, including the null and alternative hypothesis. Before that, do you know what they are? Yes. Normality and homogeneity tests are important preliminary steps before conducting statistic tests such as independent test, dependent test, or person correlation. The normality test check whether the data are normality distributed. This is crucial because many statistical tests assume that the data follow a normal distribution. If the p-value from the normality test is higher than 0.05, we conclude that the data are normality distributed. And how about homogeneity? Homogeneity test, on the other hand, is used to determine whether the variances of two or more groups are equal. This is especially important for the independent test. If the p-value from Levens test is higher than 0.05, it means the two groups have equal variances or are homogeneous. Now let's continue to the second one is, when should this test be used? We use this test before running other statistical tests, of course. For independent t-test, we need to check both normality and homogeneity. For dependent t-test, we only check normality because the same group is measured twice. For a person correlations, we only check the normality of both variables. Next, let's move to the third one is how to interpret the p-value from this test in simple terms. If the p-value is higher than 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. This means the data is normal or the variances are equal, depending on the test. If the p-value is lower than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. This means the data is not variances are not equal. Now let's learn together by the example. The effectiveness of AI-based learning media students' reading comprehensions, a comparative study between two different classes. In this study, we compare the reading comprehensions score of two different classes, Class A and Class B. We must use the normality test to make sure each group's data is normally distributed. We also use the homogeneity test to confirm that the two groups have equal variances. After both assumptions are fulfilled, we can continue with the independent test to see if there is a significant difference between the two classes. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.